how to sell on eBay fast. In this video, I'm going to give you my top 6 tips for getting your items sold quickly when selling on eBay. Let's begin. Number 1, we need to price it right. I'm going to show you what I do when I'm preparing my listings for my clients and my own items to be able to see what the market is currently paying for this type of an item. And then I like to price it just a little bit under the current market rate so I can get my items sold faster than my competition. I'm going to take you in a quick screen share and I'll show you exactly how I do that. Hey guys, so now we're in my computer, and so let's go ahead. The best way to be able to see how to price your items right is to check the sold comps. If you haven't done that before, I'm going to show you real quickly before we jump on to the next steps. So what we'll do is we go into eBay, into their search bar, and we're going to enter, I'll just put in my favorite that I always love to use for my examples in my video, Canon EOS 80D, if I can type. Here we go, 80D camera. Okay, so once we enter that in, I'm going to hit the search bar. And from here, we're going to then scroll over. So what I'm looking at now is this left column, and we're going to go down till we'll see the thing called completed and sold listings. So what we want to click on is the sold listings. When we click on that button, the completed listings will automatically select as well. So here we are, here it is. We hit sold, it selected the completed, and then voila. We have a whole gamut of information that we can use to be able to price our items correctly. Please don't list anything on eBay unless you have done this or you're familiar with that market for the item that you're selling. I always get asked from my clients, well, is this a good, my consignment clients, is this a good item to sell on eBay? And even if it was good 5 years ago, I still check the sold comps because markets change. So what we'll do in here to make sure we're pricing it right is we see here, it says the sold, and it actually says the date that the item sold, how much it sold, and on what type of format. So for here, we see bid, so we know this was an auction. We see that the buyer paid for shipping as well. That kind of goes in. I always like to add shipping to that amount to kind of get the total cost in my head, just as a quick estimate, because some of the items I'm going to be looking at, they had free shipping. So it then is kind of because the buyer is paying that total amount. So that's how I look at the sold comps. So we continue down and we want to make sure we're comparing apples to apples. This set right here we see is the lens, it has the camera, it has quite a bit of components to it. If we can continue to scroll down, so that one was $655. And usually I have found on popular items, if it is an auction item, that's usually pretty true to the market value. But let's continue down. Just because you usually, if you have several bids on something, you have the market kind of supports where it's at. So we see here, this one has a lot less components to it than the one above. And that one only sold for $430. Continue down. Whenever I'm looking at pricing an item, I always want to look at least 3 listings to be able to get an average across them. So if we look at this third one here, we see this one has a bag that comes with it, and it has all the different pieces to it. And this one sold for $670, and it had free shipping. So when we're up here at $655 plus shipping, $670 with free shipping. So we look at in the range, if I had a camera that I was selling, that was a kit. So this one kind of really doesn't go into our comps because it's not apples to apples. So we have a kit here, we have a kit here. So we're looking at the comps, the market values are about $655 to $670-ish. Other things, factors can go into that. The seller who's selling the item, what's their feedback score? Do they offer free returns? But let's just look at the overall. Let's see if we can find one more. So we keep scrolling down, and so that one looks like it's way too high, and that's a brand new. That's another thing too. We got to make sure that we're looking at, are they pre-owned or brand new? Most of the time, things I'm selling are pre-owned because I'm selling them for my clients. So we have this one right here. This one is pre-owned, and it has a kit as well. It looks like it came to $550 plus shipping. So if I was going to price this right, and the way I would do it for my business is I would probably price it at about $640. And I do buy it now, and I do shipping. It's too stressful for me to figure out if it's going to be free shipping, how much of that variance depending on where the person lives. So I personally do calculated shipping. So I would probably price it just about 640, 645 plus calculated shipping. Now to the next point. Keyword optimization. This is very important because when we're putting things in eBay, we're talking to a computer. So, although, yes, the words that we're going to put in are going to speak to the potential buyers that are looking to purchase this particular item online, we need to make sure that we're providing the computer of eBay, the search engine, with the proper words to be able to connect the dots between all the hundreds of thousands of listings that are out there to be able to bring that buyer to our listing. So keyword optimization is very critical when we're trying to list our items and sell them much faster on eBay. What I mean by keywords, let's say we're selling a Canon camera. If we had a Canon camera and we're entering it in the title of our listing, we would want to enter in Canon DSLR, which is the type of camera that it is, new, lens, tripod, case, the different things that we pertinent to that listing. So the Canon camera, let's say we would also want to definitely enter in the type of model that it is. Let's say an EOS 80D camera. Those are all things that we need to provide the search engine of eBay with the keywords so that it can drive traffic or bring eyeballs to our listing. Not a lot of people know that eBay advertises our listings on Google. So whenever we're providing the search engine of eBay with the information that it needs, it can then promote our listings on Google. There's a potential that if you go on Google and you try to search for Canon EOS 80D camera, that there's a potential that your eBay listing, if made properly with keyword optimization, could be seen on the first page. There's no guarantee based on competition, but I have seen this in my own listings, and it's a very powerful tool for getting our listings sold fast on eBay. Number 3, item specifics. Now, if you've been selling online like I have for quite a period of time, I remember when there was not item specifics on our listings. And when it started to implement it, I'm like, oh my gosh, these are so many boxes to check. But I find that sometimes the best way to understand the reasoning for that type of things is to understand the why behind why eBay implemented item specifics. The reason is a majority of the marketplace is searching for things through their cell phone. They're no longer doing the majority of searches through their computer or desktop or laptop device. They're doing it through their cell phone. So item specifics makes it easier to be able to connect the dots and to be able to see all the information on a small screen. So item specifics for us as a seller is extremely important to make sure we take the time to fill in as many boxes as possible that is pertinent to the item that you're going to sell. Now, if you are not sure about a specific box and it's not one of the required boxes, then don't guess on it. You don't want to say that it's one thing and maybe the camera, for instance, is a different item. And then when the buyer gets the item, that you get a bad review and a return and so on. So if you don't know for sure and you can't find out the answer, then leave that item specifics box unclicked. But all the boxes that it says that are required, make sure you take the time to do the due diligence to research the item and make sure that you're entering those in properly. It's a good thing for you. I like to always say it's kind of like if you're going fishing, you're putting hooks in the water to draw fish to yourself, right? Well, when we're looking at having our items online and we're wanting to sell our items faster on eBay, filling out those item specifics and, like I said, the keyword optimization for our titles, that's like hooks in the water to draw these potential buyers to our listing and to see the ocean of listings that are out there on eBay, Amazon, all of the different marketplaces out there. So we want to draw potential buyers, eyeballs to our listings, and this is the way we do that. Number 4, pictures. Pictures speak 1,000 words, especially when we're talking about online reselling, e-commerce, because think about it. When people are looking on the internet, it's not like when they go to a store and they can see an item, they can pick up the item, they can shake the item, they can open the purse, they can look all around and see this item. When they're looking online, as you probably have experienced if you've purchased things online, you only have the pictures and the description to go by. And so we need to make sure that our pictures are amazing. Now, don't feel like you have to go out and buy fancy cameras and equipment. Honestly, you can put your stuff by a nice daylight or even put it outside, like under a tree with a white sheet if you don't have a setup in your home already. And if you're just kind of getting started, that will work great. But and you can use your smartphone. The smartphones are fantastic. The technology is light years from when I first started. So, and the nice thing too with smartphones is when you take the pictures on there, you can already pull it right into your listing. I have a video where I go over a quick way to do that if you have an Apple or an iOS phone. I'll make sure that I link that in the description below. But making sure that our pictures are the best that we can possibly provide is going to give us a better chance of selling our items faster on eBay. I have a special course. It's completely free. I have a 100% coupon code for you in the description below. And it's called Photography Like a Paladin Pro. I've had a lot of people go through it and give some really nice compliments, but in that course, I give you the top 10 things to do to be able to make sure your photography is at its optimal, at its best when selling items online. So if you want to take advantage of that 100% free, make sure you click on the link in the description below. Okay, the next one. Number 5, promoted listings. Now, what promoted listings are is they're essentially like you're paying an ad fee, so to say, per listing inside of eBay. You can do 2 different options that eBay has to offer. They have promoted listings standard and promoted listings advanced. Years ago, I did not need to do promoted listings for my items because eBay has, and Google too, any search engine has this, what they call an algorithm. That's just a big word for how eBay is able to file all these listings and pull them back up when potential buyers are looking for them in their computer systems. For example, someone goes on eBay and they're looking for a Canon camera. You don't want a beach chair to pop up. You want a Canon camera. And they want to make sure that the buyers coming to eBay are having an excellent experience because they'll stay on the platform longer, hopefully purchase more longer, then the sellers are happy, and so on. So they are always updating and tweaking this algorithm based on the user experience. So years ago, they didn't have promoted listings for many years. And then when they did start, I played with it a little bit here and there, but I really noticed that doing these other things that I've talked about, I could get my listing sold fast and not have to pay the extra little ad fee involved. There has been a recent algorithm update though, and when eBay released their newer program called Promoted Listings Advanced, then after that, I noticed that my listings were being pushed down a little bit further in the search results because these other paid listings are getting popped higher on the search results. All of that being said, yes, now I do promoted listings. Now let's talk about the 2 so that you can see if this is something that will fit good for you. 1, promoted listing standard. That's my favorite currently. Promoted listing standard, you only pay if the item sells. So if your item's sitting there, or if you end the listing to refresh it and hit sell similar, that's a whole nother topic. Leave a comment below if you want me to go into that a little bit more. That's kind of like a little ninja trick you can do as a seller. But if I in the listing or I've sold it on a different platform, so I pull that listing down, I don't get charged for my listing being promoted. I only get charged if the promoted listing ends in a sale on eBay. So that's really nice. You can go in and set the percent. So currently I like 3.3%. It's just, I like the number 3. So because of that, I can just go in and set it, and it will tell me before I finalize the listing, if this listing sells, this is how much you're going to be charged for the promoted listing. Now, promoted listings advanced. It's advanced. It's only available to above standard and top rated sellers. It's pretty cool, but I do need to caution you that you can spend a lot of money on this if you're not careful. So, with anything, with spending with ads, if you've had any experience with that, I know with the last several years with my different products, my private label product on Amazon, my different courses, that type of thing, I have some experience with ads and what they call cost per click. And that's exactly what it sounds like. You're paying every time someone clicks on your listing on in eBay if you're doing promoted listings advanced. This can get expensive if you're not careful, if you're not dialed into the right keywords, if you're not watching the traffic. It can get a little daunting if you're not familiar with that. If you want me to go in a future video in more depth on this, make sure you leave it in the comments below and I'll be happy to do that. Just know though, if you're wanting to get your items sold faster on eBay, I personally do recommend promoted listings. I like the promoted listing standard because I don't pay if it doesn't sell. And it's, I'm sure I'm going to step into the advanced in the future. But for now, the standard's been working great. And I'm really pleased with that. Okay, so the next one, number 6. Top rated sellers. Top rated sellers in eBay is a way that you can get your listings seen higher in the search results because eBay rewards you for having what they call a healthy account. You can see this under your seller dashboard in your My eBay. You can see what rating you're at. And if you're not quite at that rating yet of top rated seller, then it'll show you exactly how much you need to sell, how many units or how many items you need to sell, and when they're going to review it. eBay reviews this every 30 days, and their seller dashboard is really good at giving you a clear view of that. There's a couple of factors that go into being a top rated seller, your return rate, your late shipment, a defect score. So such as if you have an item listed, you sell it and you tear your house apart, you're like, oh my gosh, where is this item? And then you have to contact the buyer because you lost the item or you listed it by mistake, then it does leave a ding on your account and it can hurt your ability to be a top rated seller. Top rated sellers have the advantage of lower discounts. You get your items seen higher in the search results. And it looks great too when buyers are looking at your listing because they do see that top rated seller or seller plus badge. Recently, I am grateful I've joined the Chris Lynn with Daily Refinement in Tech and Sports with Reseller Nirvana. They have a mastermind group. I'm part of their VIP coaching. And Tech gave me some really wise advice in regards to top rated seller. So I've been a top rated seller for years, but the top rated seller plus you needed to offer 30-day free returns. I believe it's 30 days. And so I was like, I don't want a free returns. I was like, I don't want to offer free returns. But he made a great point. He said, you just balance it out in your business. And he said, I offer actually 60-day free returns because I've never had a buyer at the volume that he's doing come back on the 59th day and ask for a return. He said, but I have reaped the benefits of having my listings seen much higher in the search results. It gives you more credibility on eBay. And it is something that has given the buyer confidence to know that, hey, if I'm buying something, if there's something wrong with this, I can return it for free returns. So you just factor that into your business and your sales to know that there might be a variable there. So far, I went ahead and changed my settings on my listings about 2 months ago to change it over to free returns. And I've had a great experience so far. And I've been bumped up to the top rated plus seller as a result. So if you'd like to learn more about the photography like a Paladin Pro, my online course that I have 100% off coupon code for you in the description below, make sure you check out that link. Make sure you also leave comments if you want me to go a little bit deeper on the promoted listings or how you can build up your feedback score much faster on eBay. This is Michelle with Paladin Global Market. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a like. Also, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified every time I upload new content. Make sure you check out these videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.